Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Plus, we got one win in a row and discussed the merits of Korean food in the last episode. It was a fun one. This episode, we got the D7. No idea how that works, as we've established in the past, but I do enjoy our stats. If we're talking about stats, I am for them. We do also have Key Beggar, which is horrible. Not a good item. In fact, much more of a detriment than a positive, which, sadly, describes a lot of items in this game now. Not trying to go off on a rant or whatever, but, you know, you're picking up what I'm putting down. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's still Tuesdays, and you know what? Some days are easier than others to record video. In every series, it's not just Isaac, you know? Slasher's Keep, for example. Some videos, you know, everything's going super well, and then, like, one enemy pops out of the woodwork, and is just like, bang, bang, you're dead. Like, your 45-minute run comes to an end in, like, 10 seconds, just because, you know, one enemy hit you when you weren't paying attention. Now, I will admit, you should be paying attention, but... well, that's not how it works, dude. It's not how it works. But come on, you know, you got me up on your second monitor right now, while you do something else on your first monitor and also play a game simultaneously, and you're gonna lecture me about, oh, you gotta give it your undivided attention. Come on, man. And by man, I mean straw man. Are you crazy? I just walked over here. Let's go try to find our second secret room. This could be our regular secret room, I should say. This could be a pretty big and important yield for us here, if it's like here, for example, and has money inside of it. That was very nice. It kind of has money inside of it. It definitely has money inside of it. What do you think about our shop here? What do you got for me? I would just buy a spirit heart. We don't really need you know what? I actually might go a step further here and try to... Never mind. I was gonna say go for BFF, but saving bombs is worth something. Oh, dude, I don't know though. Now I'm like, okay, hear me out. I think things have changed a little bit. I do think you use one more bomb. We're not gonna get enough money, but I was gonna say we should at least get some keys. Took a second, and by getting those keys, you know, now we're set up for the next floor early on. So anyway, it's good. It's a good thing. And look at that, right off the bat, we're going to find our item room. I think that was a smart play. Capricorn's a really good item. Love, you know, all the stats up, but really happy in particular to have a little bit more speed right now. But I will say, it's a very annoying item to have. Key Beggar is a very annoying item to have when you also have Flat Penny. But you know, maybe I should think about it the other way. Instead of thinking that, like, oh, Key Beggar is going to take our keys. He's definitely going to take that one. Not much we can do about that. We should instead think of it like, oh, think about how many keys we can feed to Key Beggar that otherwise would have been completely inaccessible. So, like, you know, we don't need to hold 100 keys. Even having, like, 5 keys is overkill sometimes. You know, no. Let's check this out real quick. Gotten very lucky with our spirit hearts so far. I never feel like I have more of a Canadian accent than when I say spirit hearts. I think instead it kind of sounds like a term they would use in Newfoundland to begin with. The Newfoundland accent is kind of hard to describe. It's like Canadian Letterkenny mixed with like a combination of like Scottish and Irish dialect is the best of my knowledge. It's a very good item there. Spirit Heart. I don't know, it's just something... Bye, you know? Something like that. I apologize. If you're from Newfoundland, I apologize. I'm sure you guys, like, just because you're on an island and we don't hear that you're making fun of us, I'm sure you're making fun of the rest of Canada all the time. How could you not, right? There's a lot to make fun of. I'm sure you're out there in St. John Newfoundland, going, you know, hello, it's me from Vancouver. I would like to buy a house, please. Oh, what's that? It's $1 million? What is it? On sale for half price? Come on, man. Who's rude now? And by man, I mean straw man. Yeah, okay, I don't know. Why am I doing this again? Because I don't know how the item works. Right, because I don't know how the item works. Let's not just repeat that forever. We will go to our shop, though. Get a bunch of keys out of the piggy bank, right? Or would you? I don't know. I think we'll just do this. I think we'll just do this, get the heck out of town. I have a real question for people in the Maritimes. Do you, if you're from PEI, do you have a huge rivalry with people from Newfoundland for, like, what's Canada's most prominent island? Well, I hate to break it to you, but the answer is neither. It's Baffin Island, but, you know, you can fight for the silver medal as far as I'm concerned. I got nothing against Prince Edward Island. You got a cool bridge there, Centennial Bridge. I remember that. You got potatoes. He's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway, smiling. You think I don't know the the provincial anthem? Okay, sorry, I'm not trying to make it seem like, you know, I mean, these are like antiquated Canadian references. I got nothing against PEI. Charlottetown, the birthplace of Confederation, where the Canadian nation was signed into creation. I don't know why it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Birthplace of Confederation, where the Canadian nation was signed up by a declaration. Eliza, get me out. Get me out. All right, let's pivot. One day, perhaps we'll do a power rankings of Canadian provinces. One day when I feel like completely destroying my career. But it won't be today, I'll tell you that much. Go ahead, take it. I feel like you're due for a payout. I feel like maybe I could get away with doing a power rankings for Canadian provinces. Because sometimes, like, when people say things that are insulting about, you know, parts of the world that they don't live in, for example, or parts of the country that they don't live in, I always feel like there's two different ways you could take it. Like, one is that there's a, you know, they're doing it in a declarative sense, you know? Hey, I'm from New York, and I call Iowa flyover country, even though I'm acknowledging that there's, or refusing to acknowledge that there's 6 good gravy restaurants in the state. You know, that you could be like a jerk like that. Or you could acknowledge that you're just like an idiot, and you don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, and you admit it, you can, I don't want to say you can say whatever you want, but you can say a lot more if you preface it with the idea that, like, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about, but, like, what's Iowa got going for it, you know? Apart from the Caucasus, cheap property, nothing wrong with that. I think as long as you come at it from a position of wanting to learn, you know what I mean? Then you can make ignorant statements and just, you know, be corrected. I refuse to acknowledge that we did not receive an item for this room, so as a result, we will do this room once more. Hey, well worth it. You know what? Excuse me? Not well worth it. Anyway, like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. But either way, should be good here. Should be a good day as well. It has been, like, dude, there's been some busy times. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, we talked about it a lot on Check the Wire, but here's the way, like, and again, it's nice to have the opportunities, don't get me wrong, but we talk about it on Check the Wire. You only really, like, as a YouTuber, well, it depends on your content philosophy, I suppose, but the way that my cycle works is, like, normal work. 1 week later, working a little bit too hard. Started a new series, you know, had some sponsored deals or whatever. You know, no big deal. Did a Among Us stream that got international media attention, featuring one of Canada's most popular politicians, the leader of the federal New Democrat Party, and also, you know, one of the most recognizable current sitting Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. no big deal, but you know, you add a little bit too much extra onto your plate, and then you're like, okay, I gotta slow down. And then you slow down, some new content comes down the pipe, you go, ooh, I can do that, I got tons of time. And then, you know, you just keep ratcheting up, and then you go, okay, I'm gonna pull back, and then you ratchet up, and then you pull back. So this week we're in ratchet up. It's a positive thing, don't get me wrong. You know, I got a couple of sponsored deals. Got a charity Warzone tournament with Dan Mouth and noted soul streamer The Happy Hob coming on Friday, which, I mean, this might come out on Saturday, but still. And then I'm like, I've got some opportunities in the email inbox, but I'm like, nope. We're gonna let those go by. Because I can spend more time with the baby, man. That's the thing, is like, I'm all about, I'm spending time with the baby now. It's so enriching. And I do have to say, so this is my perspective. Kate and I were actually talking a lot about this over the past couple of days. Neither of us really, like the way that we like our kid, okay? Let me put it that way. But neither of us were really like kid people. You know, like some people just have a natural sort of like demeanor that around children, like they almost seem like peers, not in an insulting way. But like everybody knows people in their life where like when they talk to kids, the kids are like, wow, this person's really cool. You know, they're just like, hey, yo, what do you got there? Big old Tonka truck? That's cool. Hey, why don't you show me what that Tonka truck can do? Whoa, it's hauling some dirt around. That's crazy, man. Like, you know, some people have that naturally. I don't have that. Like, whenever even when I talk to my nieces, they're like, hey, Uncle Ryan, and I'm like, hello. Oh, that's funny. Ha ha. Can you put your mother and father back on, please? You know, I'm like, I don't know. I don't easily slip into, like, being a, you know, relatable to basically children under the age of, I don't know, like 18. You know, even I think if you're looking at my YouTube demos, like I'm in the 25 to 34 demographic, which is very rare for YouTubers. You know, even like teenagers are watching this, and if you're watching this, congratulations on having great taste. Hold on. No, don't take it yet. I was gonna say, and don't worry about what they say in the cafeteria, but that's... Look, we're all in this together, okay? However, what I was gonna say is you gotta laugh. What I was gonna say is, you know, I've got a much older demographic by YouTuber standards. Now, admittedly, I should say by YouTube gaming standards, because there's, you know, YouTube channels out there that are like, you know, Grandma Teaches Sewing. They probably have a demo that's a little bit older than 25 to 34. Maybe not that much older, but... Still, so I would say that even now, I'm not like a kid person, you know? Like when I talk to other people's kids, I'm like, you know, they don't naturally go like, oh, they're the fun uncle, you know? But when you have your kid, it really is different. Everybody told us that, but there was kind of like in the back of my head, I wouldn't say I was worried, but I was like, I'm gonna... Possibly, there's like a 5% chance I'm gonna raise this kid to just be like an emotionless robot. Hello, Daddy. I got, look at the drawing I made in kindergarten today. Yes. Good. You know, like, I was worried about that, but nah, like, where's your kid is a lot easier to be, you just kind of slip into it naturally, if that makes sense. You know, I never saw myself doing, like, baby talk or anything like that, but, you know, we're celebrating, like, little milestones. Like I go, ooh, she goes, ooh. We're like, what the heck? This kid is a genius. If I went over to like, you know, my in-laws' place or my sister-in-law's place, and you know their baby was like, ooh, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, ooh, okay, get a job. That's not me encouraging you to necessarily have kids if you feel like you're not ready. All I'm saying is if you're maybe, you know, enough people watch these episodes. There's people maybe in a similar boat that are like, you know, we're having our kids soon, and I'm a little curious about stuff like that, how it worked out for you. That's my perspective on that. Yo, go ahead, take them. I wouldn't worry about it. You'll fall into it naturally. It's a learning process. It's like the same as just like changing the diapers. Like the first time I changed the baby's diaper, it took like an hour and a half, right? I was like, I don't know what you do with a baby. I was like worried like if you set them down in the wrong way, their neck is just gonna go like. It's not the kid. They're pretty resilient, you know. We're not tossing the baby around for sport or anything like that, but you know, you realize that like you can kind of grab their arm and put it through the sleeve of the onesie without breaking their bones. You don't have to worry about that too much. All right, you know what? This is a good time for algaes just to be safe. And just like you learn how to like, you know, care for the baby, you also learn how to kind of interact with the baby as well. Namely, like, it's crazy. I forgot what being a baby is like. Like, as adults, even adults who have no control of their emotions have some control of their emotions. You know what I mean? You might say that that's I guess, a contradiction, and I suppose on a literal level you'd be right. But, like, if an adult, like, gets sad, they can kind of, like, hold it in until they get into the car on the way home from work and then let it out on the highway, right? A baby is, like... It's crazy, and when it's your kid, like, it affects you emotionally so much different. But, like, the baby will be, like, having a great time. She'll be bouncing around, going, like, and then instantly, within, like, a single quanta of time, her face will turn into, like, the most sincere pout you've ever seen in your life. Like in 2 milliseconds. It's crazy, like... I had forgotten. I mean, obviously, like, a baby has no real control over its emotions to the extent that an adult human does. But at the same time, like, to just wear the emotion on your sleeve so instantly and so viscerally is a very, like, bizarre thing to be reacquainted with. You know, even an adult who's, like, you know, they wear their heart on their sleeve. You know, they don't literally, they're not like a transparent well of emotion, right? They might just be like, hey, I just want you to know that, you know, you made me mad when you said this earlier. But a baby is like, you instantly, like, and what's, like, you instantly, like, broke my heart. And what's crazy is that you gotta put yourself in the mindset of the baby, I guess, if such a thing exists. Like, almost everything that happens to this baby is either the best or the worst thing that's ever happened in her whole life. Can you imagine what living like that is like? Must be pretty exhausting. You know, every single day you're like, this is the best meal I've ever had. And then, like, you know, your dad gets too engrossed in the Rocket League game and he stops bouncing you for like half a second and you're like, this is the worst feeling I've ever had. Anyway. Babies, man. It's weird. It's pretty cool. It's a little weird, too. Dude, infinite money. we got an infinite motion machine here. So, yeah. The other thing is, like, on top of just wanting to, you know, obviously spend more time with my wife and my daughter, like, because of, I'm loving my new schedule, okay? Today, I was blessed. I was able to get up at 7:45 a.m. Feels amazing. The baby let me get a very, very decent night's sleep. But, you know, oftentimes, on, like, I'd say, like, the average day, you know, I'm up at, like, maybe 6 on the dot. I'm not complaining. You know, it's not torture. I wake up and I'm, like, a little tired for a bit, and then I have a couple of dozen cups of coffee, and I'm good to go. But I'm used to, like, there's 2 competing wolves inside of me right now, right? So, like, one of the wolves is, like, the me that used to get up at 9:30 or 10 a.m. And so at 5 p.m., I'm still just, like, I'm maybe starting to come to the tail end of my workday. And then there's the me that exists right now that has now been up since, like, you know, 6. And also the quality of sleep and the length of sleep is not as good as it was prior to the baby, of course. So at like 5 p.m., I'm like, man, I really should get like another video done. But on the other hand, every nerve in my body is completely devoid of all the, you know, gas that would keep it going. So there's definitely, there's some elements of that as well. Hey, man. I said, leave me alone. I said, hear me home. Come out and get out the... Suffragette City. David Bowie. Anyway. But yeah, it's been good, but it's an adjustment period for sure. Just an adjustment. Do we really need... I mean, you always would not say no to more damage, but maybe there's something better that we could get for 15 cents. Something a little bit more applicable to our actual needs. It's probably like another Ace of Clubs, and I honestly think Chaos is like kind of bad. That's like my new... My biggest revelation. That's actually exactly what I wanted. My biggest revelation since, you know, the turn of the year in Isaac is the idea that, oh, we have money equals power. That's why our damage was so good. My biggest revelation is the idea that, actually, whereas previously I thought that Chaos was good, I actually think Chaos is like Omega bad. Most of the time. Some of the time is going to take you to outer space. And it will hold you close if you're afraid of things. You know... Was that this video or this series where we talked about Incubus? Can't remember. Sure, okay, why not? Dude, we can actually get the Omega Bum transformation. I can't believe it. It was either this or Spelunky, but I love the line in Stellar by Incubus. I don't mind Incubus as a band, but like, I love the line. I need you to see this place. It might be the only way that I can show you how it feels to be inside you. How do you do it? I just like... It's such like an on the... It's like a super... You know from the Yvonne Etniage episode of The Simpsons where they form a boy band to try to get people to join the Navy? It's like, you know, we're well versed in both kinds of marketing. Subliminal messaging and superliminal messaging. What's superliminal messaging? The guy opens the window. Hey you! Join the Navy! Alright. It's a superliminal innuendo. It's like a -1 entendre. It's not an innuendo, it's an outuendo. See, there's many jokes you can make there. Now I'm trying to get it like a Nintendo window. Nintendo window? That's when you send a Princess Peach emoji. It's a Nintendo. There's a joke there. I didn't structure it well, but the punchline's like, hey man, I wrote the punchline for you. That's like the hardest part of the whole shebang. Kind of. Now I'm thinking like, I don't think it is, because they do that in Austin Powers 3, and I didn't find it humorous. So, something that shat on a turtle! Anyway, how am I doing? I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Suppose we should let Key Beggar pick up the keys. Cracked Crown is very good. We will take that over Flat Penny, but Flat Penny honestly has kind of done its part. I can't be too upset about it. Runs real good. Lots of everything. Like all stats are poggy right now. We should take that. Yeah, I mean, this is Pog City for sure. 21 damage, 4 rate of fire. That's the kind of stats you will get out of bed for. There's a lot of things I wouldn't get out of bed for. That I'll get out of bed for. It's actually like the exact opposite. There's like a... I will get out of bed at this point for almost anything. Very, very little keeps me in bed at this point in my life. Because of the baby. You know what I mean? Baby and all that. The baby. I almost opened that for like no reason. Okay, give me no troll bombs, you troll. You epic troll face, Lamau. Anyway, like I'm spinning my wheels conversationally because like you and I both know, this run is actually over. Like there's no, on top of all the actual obvious positives that we've got going on, there's legitimately, like, there's no way that we die with a combination of full HP and then also 9 lives. I feel like we had Dark Judas too, but that might have been our last run. So it's really just, it's not a bad thing, but it's an exercise in just, you know, finishing what we started here. Whatever it takes. Hey. You guys ever just, like, imagine dragons? You know what I mean, dude? Whoa. Never really thought about it like that. By the way, everyone keeps making fun of me for getting 21 pilots. And, well, now you can make fun of me. I keep getting 21 pilots and the chain smokers confused. And then on top of that, I also suggest at different times that both of those bands, or either of those bands, wrote the song called Pumped Up Kicks. When I'm telling you, I have pretty strong musical knowledge from about, say, about 1965 until the year 2010. And in 2010, it actually drops off of a sheer cliff. That's how it happens. You know, you're relevant, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I think I'm full of music. Don't think I need any more. And then every once in a while, you just become like an emulation of your parents. Hey, who sings that one on the radio? You know, the one that goes dunk, donkey, dunk, dunk, donkey, dunk, 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 you know. And then you find yourself saying things you never thought you'd say before in your life, like, hey, that new Train song's kind of catchy. It's time to get to a Reeducation Center as soon as possible. Listen to some 100 gex. You might even need to listen to like 1,000 gex. Actually, you'll laugh. My new thing is like, Kate has Spotify Premium. Sometimes we'll like listen to that in the car. I know none of the songs that are on the modern playlist that are just like, you know, hey, indie pop. But then every once in a while, I'll be like, I know that song from TikTok. And don't sway and make a cup of coffee for your time. You know what I'm talking about. You know that one. I don't know, that song's ancient. It's from like February. That laugh was good. Can we get a character going that uses that laugh? That song's so old. It's from like 3 weeks ago. Okay, Grandpa. What's next? You gonna reference some modern acts like Beethoven? Oh, tell me more. I heard there's a great Gregorian chant that just came out on well, its recording hasn't been invented yet, but you can like go see it. I know I've talked about this before, but can you imagine how much it must have sucked to have lived in like the 1600s or the 1700s? You go see like a Mozart symphony, right? Like now you hear a song you like. I mean, even in the 90s, you could just go like buy the CD. Kind of sucked, you know, or you could wait for it to come on the radio and you could illicitly tape it. But not that I would ever do that. However, you know, imagine like you're in the 1800s and you go see like Beethoven Symphony Number 9, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and you're trying to tell people about it. You're like, oh, you gotta hear it. And they're like, okay, when can I hear it? And you're like, never. I'm telling you, in 6 years, it's gonna come back to the Viennese theater, and then you can see it. Remember that for 7 years from now. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya!